What's up, NACA family? As Jamal and I have traveled, talked to thousands of members, visited over 150 facilities, a topic that routinely comes up when right behind pay and contracts is incept and deviations and how the current system is failing us. Incept as it's ran today does not work in an overall critically staffed system. We have members out bidding management positions to move from a level 5 to a level 6 because that facility will never rise high enough on the incept list. That is a system not working for our members. This is not a reflection on our regional reps on the incept team. They're doing everything they can to keep this system in place. While Mick continues to get overrun by management in situations like in August of 2022, when 13 members were skipped because management changed the rules real time in the actual incept process, or again as late as February of 2024, where we've had to go back and fix those errors and mistakes. Mick wants to promise us all of these things that he won't even have the authority to negotiate, yet he hasn't focused on the position or his job at hand when he is one of the regional vice presidents that's in charge of running incept. We have facilities with 20 or less CPCs as a target number that find themselves in a continuous 6-day work week because 85% is the new 100%. That may work for some facilities, but it does not work for all. We must go back and look and change the ideas of what once was. Incept was meant for a well-staffed system. We now must find solutions such as targeted moves. If you're in a level 7 or below facility and you want to move to a level 9 and below, we should be working to have somebody placed out of the academy behind you, and when they reach a certain level of certification, you have a 6-month release to the facility ahead. And none of these things happen just because we say them out loud, but it takes leaders who are willing to engage with the agency and not just sit here and try to fit the square peg in the round hole approach, as we've done and you've seen for the last 2.5 years. That will not happen with Jamal and I being president and executive vice president. We must also look at revamping the distribution of academy graduates. We have level 5, 6, and 7 up-downs that we all know have longer training times, yet they only get one body for about every 2 years when their percentage hasn't dropped low enough. When you have other facilities getting multiple bodies in 1 year, we must go back and take a look at overhauling the system and ensuring that the throughput of these facilities makes sense, and bringing back swaps. At least let's start with light type facilities where the higher staff facility can release to the lower staff facility. And then when somebody achieves a certain level of certification, then that person can be released on the other side of the swap back to the higher staff facility. These are ideas that, again, electing Jamal and I, we will immediately engage the agency in changing, because overall, we must merge our placements with NEST, incept, hardships, deviations, and it has to be a 360-degree look of staffing and the impacts of it, not just a percentage number that gets used against us time and time again. We cannot continue turning a blind eye to our current situation in just hopes of keeping a system that will one day or eventually work. And then let's talk about the harm that deviations have caused our facilities, where they're taking management positions from a red facility that we can't even have somebody go in transfer facilities, yet management pummels us and takes advantage of us using a percentage-based system. Rich will say that the deviations have slowed down, or there's not been as many done in recent times, but nothing has been collectively done to educate our reps and have a cohesive approach or a cohesive message in making sure that we are pushing back at the appropriate levels. And you could say that that would be left up to the regional vice presidents to go out and do, but if we know it's a problem nationwide, why is our president not stepping up to state and chart a path forward? There have been no efforts done to engage the agency to run the deviation and incept process in tandem, or at least look at the impacts they are having on one another. We go from having a well-staffed facility when the deviation process run and the incept process runs to a critically staffed facility in the matter of 2 to 3 months, where we have worked nonstop to put ourselves in a position to retain people, to have a throughput of controllers, yet now we find ourselves right back in 6-day work weeks and being pummeled all over again. And let me show you the difference in two styles. Rich told the regional vice presidents, go make good data-based arguments. Well, when I first got on this national executive board, deviations have been occurring for 7 years. And I asked, where is the data? Where has all this information been compiled so we can go and lean in and make these data-based arguments? And when asked, the response was, well, we've never compiled that data. Well, how can you go out and charge the very leaders that are supposed to help protect our facilities and never have looked at all the data? So in the Southwest region, what did we do? We took action. We FOIA'd the agency and did a Freedom of Information Act request and got all the names of everyone who's ever been deviated for facilities so we could begin making true arguments to the agency, start showing what's happening in the overall picture where somebody is being deviated and then suddenly a year later they're being released to another facility. That's what a union does. It brings facts and figures to the table, not just thoughts and feelings. That's why we're asking for all of you to stand with Jamal and I in this election to vote for Team Daniels-Haltom, because we're not going to just be about words. We'll be about action. We'll be about results, and listening to all of you help forge the path ahead.